Hi there and welcome back to the channel. In the last video we had a look at making the turning point form by completing the square. In today's video we're going to be looking at two other ways to factorize, the quadratic formula and a technique which is just simply called factorization. Let's dig in. So if we were to take the equation x squared plus 7x plus 6 and just factorize it, then what we can notice is we need to find two numbers which add to 7 and which multiply to 6. So we had a look at this in the quadratics video. So if you remember, the c value is the multiplication of the two roots, while the middle value is the addition of the two roots. So in this case, you might think and you might realize that the two values which work are going to be 1 and 6. So why is this? 6 times 1 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. So what we do is we write it out in the form x plus 6, x plus 1. So if you think about what we learned just a couple minutes ago, using our FOIL technique, x times x is going to be x squared plus x plus 6x plus 6. So you might notice that there's only one value which isn't going to have an x, and that's the multiplication of the last value with the last value. Now all the rest are going to have x's in them, but the first value is the only one with an x squared, because x squared can only be produced by x multiplied by x. Now the reason why the middle number needs to add up to 7 is because what we're doing is we're adding up 6 times x plus 1x. So what we're doing is we're taking into account the fact that x has to multiply by 1 and 6 has to multiply by x. Now, if we use the other example that we saw, x squared minus 12x plus 36, we can think about two numbers that add up to negative 12, but multiply to positive 36. And those two numbers are going to be negative 6 and negative 6. So the reason is negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12, and negative 6 times negative 6 is going to be positive 36, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So if we were to write this out, it would be x. So x is traditionally put inside the brackets as the first value, x, and then our two values of x after, minus 6, minus 6. Okay, so we'll look at the end of this video, how we can use this form to solve for the values of x. So we've learnt turning point form, we've learnt factorization. The last one is the quadratics, the quadratic formula. So we had a look in the last video at what the quadratic formula is. If you want a more in-depth explanation, please have a look at that. But this is the formula. So the plus minus means we have to do one of these with just the plus, and then an entirely new one for just the minus. So we're going to get two results. Now the important thing to remember in this case is this will give us our roots. So doing this calculation, every time will produce the roots, while using using the turning point form and factorization, we will have to solve. But more on that in the next video. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, please like and subscribe. Go to answerme.com, the link is in the description, to vote for next week's topic. And I'll see you in the next video, where we're going to be looking at how we can use these roots from the quadratic formula to graph, and how we can use the turning point form and factorization to solve for the roots. See you then.